Our guest for today is Miss Thabiso Hadebe, who is a transformational speaker, qualified NLP practitioner, and a passionate life coach. She's dedicated her life to guiding individuals and parents through painful life transitions. She's a mother of two and a believer in Jesus Christ. So yeah, let's continue. We're talking about pain. And I remember quoting what I had heard from Dr. Anita, saying that this life is about learning to deal with pain in a healthy way, because it's something that we can never run away from.
Yeah.
And it's very uncomfortable for us as humans. And so what does that mean? Like learning to deal with pain in a healthy way? Because I think someone listening at home is like, can pain ever be healthy?
The relationship you have with pain can be healthy when you know how to actually allow yourself to
sit in pain, what you mentioned
sit in
earlier.
pain. Yes, you sit in pain. Pain needs to be felt. You can't conquer an enemy you won't acknowledge. You can heal pain you won't feel.
But then that's when I go to Netflix.
No. Yes, that's why I'm saying a healthy manner.
Yeah.
It's the journaling part. Put it down, take it outside of you, put it down for what it is, and look at it. And normally, I'd say you can write how you feel today. Once you take the emotion out of you into the paper, you actually, that's a form of a relief. So you can write about how you're feeling today. I can tell you to write tomorrow and the next day. Most definitely you won't write the same thing, because it means that even the feelings are doing this. It's a wave. But then you may think that by you experiencing something, it's you can experience pain today, it will be horrible. But tomorrow, the same situation, it does not make you feel as horrible. So what does that say? You may say, I have a horrible life based on
this,
an incident. Painful experience is not an overall of a painful life. So now once you know the healthy tools that which you can use to can actually take this thing out of you, put it in front of you, look at it. And some of these things, when you look at the things we may be saying, these are painful, when you start feeling like that, as you look at it and ask yourself, is it true? All of a sudden, you may change what you are saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I hear you. And also, reaching out to you.
Yep.
That's a big part of us dealing with pain.
Life is perspective. And miracles are a change of is you changing your mind. The greatest miracle I've ever received was not my husband coming back, was how I viewed the whole experience. A miracle is a shift in perspective.
Okay, let's talk about that. Now, your husband coming back. Which state were you in when he came back? I think that's where I want to go.
My husband didn't come back. Unfortunately, my husband didn't come back. He wanted to. He died before he could come back.
But so when you say that he wanted to, what does that mean? Does that mean that you now had the power to choose whether he comes back or not?
I believe so. But getting to a point where just before he passed, I remember having concluded that I want to sign out of the marriage because of the time. He was out of the house 13 months. And by that time, I have done so much work with me, getting myself back together, learning to live without him and deciding, Uguti, this person chose to be somewhere else. Can I choose myself, focus on myself, building my life? There's my kids' life. So now when he decided, Uguti, he wants to come back, by that time I was saying I'm signing out because I got to a point whereby I say I cannot value someone else more than I value myself. So the deciding ukuthi I'm signing out, I decided ukuthi I am worthy of being treated better.
Yeah.
Yes, I am worthy of being loved well. I am worthy of being considered as someone whom someone can choose to be with. So if someone can tap out of this thing when they feel like, can I be the one that decides what I'm worthy of actually being received for? Because I got to a point whereby I know now that we discount ourselves by accepting a certain way of people treating us. People receive us how we actually show up most of the time. So the day I dealt with myself, that is the day you saw him wanting to come back, because all of a sudden I no longer chase, I no longer run after, I no longer do the horrible things that which some of them I did trying to get him back. All of a sudden, he starts to see a different version. Because earlier on I mentioned ukuthi, the reason why he left, I started becoming a person I was not, but based on the dynamics of what I was going through as well. So 4 days before I even asked ukuthi, where do you stay? I want to give you papers of divorce. And then he told me, I'm coming back home. It was just 4 days before he passed. So 4 days later, that's when I received a call ukuthi something horrible has happened to him. I look at it today, you can say, God, you forced me to be faithful to my vows, because I couldn't sign out of that marriage covenant that I did in 2015. And how I got to a point whereby I go there, or I send people there to go and pick him up. I'm the one who buried him. No one had to ask for me to do that. It felt right. And I look at it today, you can say, that was the best decision I have ever made. Because of now, I look at it, if it felt right and I did it, as horrible as it looked to everyone else, today I look at how I responded. It worked in my favor. There's my children. There's now, before I did that, there was the issue of forgiving. I forgave him when he was still alive, because you can't heal if you won't forgive first. Forgiveness comes before healing. So if you are struggling to heal, most definitely the underlying issue may be unforgiveness. Forgiving is understanding that you can't ban, this is a house. I can't be banning my whole house because there's a rat. Someone says that. I read that somewhere. You can say your whole house can't be collapsing because there's a part that is not right. So I had to forgive because I'm the one who suffered the pain of having to carry the load of not choosing to release this thing that was eating me up. It's like eating poison and hope the person that is actually hurting you is the one that which will suffer the consequences of what you are experiencing. And I've also picked that up with unforgiveness. While I'm addressing it about unforgiveness, it's feeling that as I carry this thing, I can do a better job than what God can do on my behalf. So releasing or choosing to forgive, you are saying, God, I trust you enough to can do a better job than me carrying this thing that is even heavy and killing me and actually depriving me of living a normal life. Because now and again, when unforgiveness creeps, you can do the most horrible thing when that thing comes to you. So I went through that, buried my husband, and went through the process of a widow that's grieving for a husband that's no longer there. But I did not do most of the things that were expected for a widow to do. I got to decide which were the things I participate in and which are the things I chose to honor based on how I felt again. I think when we are addressing the issue of emotions, the emotion plays a very, very big role. They act as an indicator for you to do certain things and not do certain things, because that's a language today I look at. We can say, this thing felt right, but it didn't look okay for everyone else. But to me, the decision I made gave me so much peace. So life is about you. The decision you are making needs to make you free. It needs to make you, it's free. It needs to give you peace. And you need to find yourself walking a path that was taking you to you living a life that brings you joy at the end of the day after doing the things that which you have said you did. Most of the time, the people, if a person is not dealing with emotions in a healthy way, you will drink. Tomorrow morning, you are going to complain. You've wasted money. There's the headache. There's the effects of someone who drinks again. The coping mechanism that are healthy, they leave you revived. And all of a sudden, it adds to a long-term effect of how well you are in terms of your mind, body, your mind, soul, and body.
Yeah, I always say that emotions are a gift, like they are a gift from God. And when we go through therapy, counseling, life coaching, it is harnessing that gift. It's helping us to actually enjoy the gift. Because emotions are not bad. I think emotions are just the subconscious communicating. And remember, the subconscious will always be wiser than the conscious.
Yes.
And so it's important for us to get into that space of aligning ourselves with our true identity. In that way, expressing our emotions and knowing what they mean. And knowing what we need to heal from in order for us to be able to understand what they actually mean. Because when we haven't healed, that's when we misinterpret them. That's when they are kind of they are tainted because they carry everything that you are. They carry your childhood, your subconscious. Your childhood is there. Your 5-year-old is in your subconscious. You didn't leave them behind. They are there with you. And I remember going through this myself, where, I don't know, I would say it was a moment where I was with the Lord, just spending time with him. And in that moment, he taught me how to meditate. I have always ran away from meditation because I just believe that it's self-help. This is not the way of the Spirit. This is not the way of Jesus. I'm doing something else here. So Jesus had to teach me how to meditate. In that space, I felt like the Lord came in. It was the first time I've ever felt like that in my life. I felt so separated from myself. You know, you are sitting there, it's me, you see me, but I feel so separated. I remember seeing a young version of me on the side. And she was so hurt because of something that had happened. And when I grew older, I left her behind in that moment. I left her behind in that moment, but I carried the pain with me. And so when Jesus came into that space, he allowed me to talk to the younger version of myself. And I had to say, Zanele, it's okay. You are safe here. The Lord is present here. It's okay. Let's walk together. And that was my first experience of meditation. And Jesus was there with me. And he was the one doing all the work. And when we came together, I could feel it. You feel these things. You can't see them, but you feel it. You feel it. I felt that fulfillment. I felt that acknowledgement. You know, she had been sitting on the sidelines wanting to be seen, wanting to be known, you know, wanting to be loved. And in that moment, when Jesus helped me to recognize her, she was loved. She was nurtured. you know. And so I say this with so much humbleness. I'm not trying to, kind of make other people feel as if they are not doing the right thing. But I do believe that we are all in a journey. My journey has led me to a place of understanding how important emotions are. Yes. You cannot shut them out. You cannot pretend they are not there. That's when we go astray. That's when we are going to all these things as our coping mechanisms. Because this person right here, who's a gift, who's the subconscious, needs something. Yep. They need that love.
Yes.
And I will always be an advocate for emotional awareness. I would always be an advocate for people to reach out to people like you who are life coaches, who've dedicated themselves to say, my experience is going to be your success. Ooh. Because you don't have to go through the same cycle. You don't have to, and we believe that we have to. That's what we believe. We believe that, no, it's my journey. I must experience my own pain. That's why people don't want to go for life coaching and therapy, because they are thinking, this is my journey. I need to experience this pain and I can't ask for help. So what do we say to people who are really convinced that because there's this thought of that pain is purpose, so I don't need help. I must endure.
Sure. Something I learned was everything else in life is seasonal. So you need to check whatever season you find yourself in, has it been seasonally or it's now a forever thing? Even pain. If the joyful moments do not last forever, why must a season of pain be a forever thing? So what does that tell you? It tells you, if it now starts to be a forever thing, it's you recycling things that could have been released or could have been dealt with, and actually it ends up now you move into the next cycle of your life. So once it now starts to be forever, that's a sign you need to get help, because everything else in life is seasonal. But pain can be one thing that's now something that which I get to live with forever. No.
Yeah.
So with the help and the tools and everything else that which we offer is to say that don't turn this thing into a forever, where else it was supposed to be something that was seasonal. And with the pain, you don't just get to a point where you say, I'm done. It will come. As it comes, I remember what happened to me, but the emotions about the experience are totally different because I dealt with them. Anything you are afraid of confronting, it controls your life. So until you address, you shall be controlled by this thing.
Yeah. I think your story is similar to mine, going back to what you said, that you never actually got an opportunity to divorce your husband. I also was going through my own, a very tough time in my marriage. And I'm not going to sit here and just say it was only my husband. I had my own traumas. And when we came together, I'm laughing, but it's no joke. When we came together, I think hell came alive.
Yeah.
It was a tough time for both of us. What he needed, I couldn't be. What I needed, he couldn't be. So for me at that time, it was really important to fight for my marriage.
Yes. Pray about it. Fast your way.
I was a warrior. To fight for my marriage, to fight for the family structure that I had in my head. But I was going through it, man. I was going through depression. It was tough because when depression comes, you're no longer going forward. You're stuck in your past. You're stuck in what he did. You remember every single word that he spoke. And in that moment, there is no forgiveness. There is resentment. There is no love. You know, there is lust that we feel as human beings, but the true nature of love, which is forgiving, is not present in that moment. And depression is real. I'm not going to take away from that. It's very real. You are stuck in a space that you don't want to be stuck in.
Yeah.
And my husband passed away and we were going through it. And so we never got divorced. But there's possibly someone listening to us who has gone through divorce. You know, I don't want them, I know that we both don't want them to listen and think, oh no, I've made a mistake because I've gone through a divorce, because they are saying that they never got to divorce their partners. What do we want them to take away from this conversation?
Sure. Our marriages could have been saved if only we had the right tools, the right support. It's the tools, it's the support. You can't heal in isolation. You heal in community. You heal based on the things you consume in terms of a lot of TV channels, the things that are playing on TV. I even can narrate a story. I stopped watching TV back then because at that time this show was playing, Jola 99.
Oh, God.
Such things are playing on TV. And then we understand the depth and the pain that which people are going through. And you would think someone can come up with such a reality show. So it goes to show you that faith comes by hearing. And actually things that we see, it creates a certain narrative. So until we are very loud to can say, you will have to intentionally shut such doors. I don't watch TV based on such, I would see such, and not a place whereby I would see people speaking about healing, speaking about this thing, me being someone who would be able to come out of this painful thing with someone else's help. So up until the day I found that out, in community shall I heal. How is that community? It speaks a different language.
Yeah.
It speaks, you have a victor's mentality. A victor's mentality says, what good can come out, or what good can come out of this situation? What if I make it out? Because a lot of times, even our minds are wired to focus on the negative. Why not say, what if I make it out? So marriages can be saved.
Yeah.
If we are fully invested meaning that you would have to intentionally spend money in getting the relevant help to can steer this thing. It's a ship.
But it takes two.
It takes two, yes. But a person that is still inside the marriage covenant, in marriages, our partners receive us for who we are at that time. The energy that which I was having as someone going through with the experience I was having, I was projecting it. Remember, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So it means that the issues that I was having were the heart posture. So have I had someone who maybe they have gone through pain, or they've gone through seeing their husband not working? He would have told me, you speak to the king in him, even with what you are seeing being like this. So it means that what I kept on speaking, it's words, it's seeds I'm planting. You speak such horrible words. These seeds are planting into your husband's mindset, and then he ends up deciding you are not good for him. Have I spoken good words, even in that season whereby everything looks horrible? Maybe I would have gotten to a different destination. But I didn't know what I didn't know up until I have to come here and share my perspective to can say, do you have the right community who is helping you when you go through these problems? Are you fighting? Actually, we are being transformed by the renewal of the mind. If you allow your mind to be renewed, it's a playing field for the Holy Spirit to now craft. So are you allowing Holy Spirit to speak to you in that season? It is only after the season of pain that I can clearly and fully attest to, can say, I know God, I've experienced him, because it's a different way I was able to say, God, I think when you said, when we go through, you are in it with us. I felt you the most when I was going through problems, because I did not choose to put my problems to other things. I decided to directly approach you with what I was going through. So the healthy things, who is helping you in terms of guiding you through these things? Do you have the right community? Do you actually, the systems? You need systems to can be able to process what you are going through. What are those things? Those are the things that which we, with the work that which we are doing, get to actually give for the other people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I also don't believe that people get married with the intention of divorce.
Never.
I think it's something
No
that
one.
comes because marriage requires self-work.
Yes.
Like we just have to be honest. Marriage it's not about finances.
No.
It's not about having a house. It's about self-work. Two people who can be committed to say, I'm going to continue to work on myself.
Yes.
I'm going to continue to learn and grow even within this marriage unit.
You know what?
That's how marriage is. That's what marriage is about. And so there is sometimes a possibility where one person is committed to doing that and the other person is not.
Danger
you
there.
know, there's danger there. And then divorce can happen, you know. And divorce, you know, it's uncomfortable because going through grief myself as a widow, I've been seeing divorce similar to what happened to me because you lose.
Yay.
You lose a dream. You lose a hope. You lose plans.
Yes.
And maybe it's even harder because you can see this person walking around. You know, you see
ghost.
them. Yes. You see them building a different life with someone else. And you have to find something within you that is going to help you to move forward.
Yeah.
You know, so I think in saying this, people go through divorce because of life circumstances.
Yes.
It happens, you know, but it also requires healing.
Yeah.
Just because you've separated from the person, it doesn't mean that there's no longer healing needed.
Sure. When you are saying this now, you know what comes into my mind is to say that, remember, we are supposed to constantly evolve. We are supposed to grow. We are supposed to grow. So you find that as you grow, you become a different version of who you are. If you find that your partner is not growing with you, there will be misalignment there. So now the love covenant, it needs to constantly evolve as we are constantly growing. So this you can bring in the point of with every version of you that which now comes out as you are growing, one needs to be able to adjust things accordingly. Yeah. So the last thing that which comes to my mind now is to say marriage is sustained by a character, a personality. Are you working out your character to be able to handle the marriage? Because it's not sustained by the bank balance. We've spoken about it, by all these things that which we have accumulated. Your character, have you developed your character enough to be able to sustain you when now hardships comes? Because as they come, they require you to show up and be able to have these relevant tools and know where to run to in terms of knowing exactly whatever it is that which you would be coming out with. It would be something that which will help empower you through the journey and not cripple you or kill you or let you release something that could have been worked out. Yeah. So character is the one that sustains the marriage.
And all these things, character, self-work, all these things are done in singleness. So the stage of singleness is very important. It's important, guys. So please do not rush to marriage. You're hearing us talk about marriage. I'm actually single now and I'm loving it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So this is the time I'm taking to work on myself, work on my relationships, especially with the opposite sex, men, you know, I feel like men are special, guys. We
need them.
Yeah, we need to be honest about that. Men are special. We need them. This world coexists because there's a female and there's a male, you know, and when they come together, they produce something that is really beautiful. A small human being, you know. So this whole notion of men are bad or women are like this, I think those are just theories that we kind of cope with. We're trying to cope with pain, but we need to do the self-work.
Once you do the work, if you haven't taken the responsibility on how you also contributed to where you find yourself in life, you can't change your situation.
Yeah.
Because you can't, while you blame the next person, then blaming the next person, you will
Where
never
there
get...
is blame, there is shame.
Yes.
That's how I live. Where there is blame, there is shame. When you are pointing a finger, you are shaming yourself. That's how it works.
Because you also contributed to this thing.
Exactly.
So, yeah. But how we perceive our experience is based on the story we've crafted about the experience.
Yes.
That's why they say change your thoughts, change your life.
Yes.
Change your story, and then you get to live a different life, even after you've gone through certain things. My life did not have to end when my marriage ended. It was a season, a chapter. The rest of the story now is now crafted intentionally. I get to meet Abuzanele because clearly there's a reason why I had to learn what I had to learn, so that, because we said when we started, perspective. I bring in my truth. And I also told you, Uguti, we need to tell people, Uguti, disclaimer.
This is our experience.
This is my truth.
Yeah.
And my truth can help whoever
can relate to
can relate. I am not here to downplay someone else's experience, but I'm here to share my perspective that took me from the pit of almost getting divorced, a young widow, to now being a thriving coach and a transformational speaker. So you get to now decide, but choose your heart.
Yeah.
Do you really want to sit here when there's help available? Or do you want to actually say, you know what? I want to also craft a beautiful story with the horrible experience that which I have gone through. One gets to decide. You get to choose. But we can't be silenced when we know very well that the people who are loud, they're the ones who are saying men are dogs. No, they are not. Because after you've done, you have worked on yourself and actually look at your situation a little bit different, you pick up how there's a lot of things that contributed. So now you get to understand, Uguti, I'm not even afraid of getting into another relationship or marriage because I understand now I'm equipped to can handle this thing. And again, understanding, Uguti, life comes with all these things. So now, can I not embody the experience? Can I just embrace that I went through this? Your past must not be a prison. It is just a school. Learn what you have to learn. Move past it. Yes.
It's been a wonderful conversation. Obviously, we can talk until the night comes and the next day comes. But thank you so much for your presence. And so I want to ask you a question. What is your favorite book currently? What are you reading currently? Because reading is also a great part of working out your,
Currently, I'm reading Standing Tall in a Falling World.
Oh,
I think I brought one today here. No, it's this one here. Standing Tall in a Falling World. Yes.
This one.
Yay.
So this is what you're currently reading?
Yep.
Okay. And would you encourage other people to get it? What are you learning from?
It's the mindset. You need a certain mindset for you to can brave through certain things. You need the right community, people who are advocating, people who are calling you high. You actually need to allow yourself to stand on your truth. We allow people to tell us stories.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to be the one that tells your story because you are the one that knows how exactly it had to happen. So this one, it simply speaks about us standing up for who we truly are and who we truly are based on what God said we are before we even have to go through all these things that which we went through. There's who God said you are. The greatest.
Yeah. And there's also this book that you brought here today. Can you tell us more about it? Because we are going to be giving it away to the first person who's going to reach out to Thabiso and requesting her services. This is the book that you're going to receive. Can you tell us more about it?
Sure, this one, I read it a while ago, but it speaks about shifting your perspective in a changing world. We've spoken about changing our thoughts. It's how you change your life. So this one, it helps you now be able to shift your perspective in terms of your view. Remember, we don't actually see things as it is. We see things as we are. So now being able to change who you are requires you to see things differently. So it helps you now have the right mindset and in terms the right tools, godly tools. She refers to the Bible a lot, references scripture. So yeah, the book is about a shift in a perspective in a changing world. The world can change, but the people who rule the world are those who are able to change their minds. Be agile. They say bend so that you don't break. Yes.
Okay.
So
in closing, how can people reach you?
I do coaching sessions online, reaching out. And Instagram is Thabiso_24. And I also take sessions. I do give out my number, which I have at work. It's 071-8977-009. And there's also my email, which is Thabiso at beyondexperiences.co.za. But I'm fully active on the socials. TikTok, it's Coach Thabiso Hadebe. But yeah, my work is all over social media. So reach out from there and then get yourself the help that which you need. And we do host different, I do private group coachings currently because I said it's better to heal in community because when you find that you are not the only one going through certain things, at least it becomes a little bit better. But those who still want the one-on-one, they can just reach out in terms of using the number that I gave. But yeah, whoever gets to reach out, this book belongs to you.
And it's an easy read.
It is.
It's an easy read.
It is.
So we thank you for your presence and all of the wisdom that you shared with us today. And so this is the safe place to land. We will continue to explore your emotions. We will continue to explore the Lord within those emotions and just tune in and receive the freedom and the love that God has given you.
You are my safe place from things that I can't face. When it all gets too much for me and I'm lost in my anxiety. And if my heart aches, you breathe with